Hello, and welcome to Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is Christine with a romance reading for October 17th. I am delayed a day, but this is also the day of the full moon, so that's actually kind of fun. This is, as always, a general collective reading, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Let's get started with our reading here. God, what does this collective need to know about their romance journey this week? King of Cups. I'm laughing because I remember the reading not too long ago where it's funny that this was coming up, where I was picturing the ocean like eating away at these rocks and his what's it called? Throne. I was going to call it a chair. His throne falling over, and then the tower comes out, which is that energy of that sort of sudden, I mean, it would be like his throne suddenly crashing into the ocean. That's really funny that I was channeling that before the tower even came out. Okay. So this is definitely like a sudden disruptive change for King of Cups energy. As always, that can be male or female. The gender is pretty much irrelevant in the cards, but he represents like a mature male in the cards, but again, can be male or female. Energy who is really emotionally intelligent. He's like psychic. He's in tune with himself. He's a spiritual guy. Just like this, I can't believe I was channeling that, and then the tower came out. I'm like a little bit delighted right now by my intuition. This energy, right, of like all of a sudden this lightning bolt hits this tower. It's that feeling I've talked about before that I channel for my friends sometimes, where that feeling of like living in a castle that was built on sand, like on a cliff overlooking the edge of the ocean, and at some point the ocean is just going to erode the sand. It's just the way that it goes. This is an interesting energy. The Three of Pentacles is interesting in this deck. I'm using the Witch's Tarot tonight, and usually it's an energy of partnership, but in this deck it seems so like solo to me. I feel like this row represents you. And again, gender is irrelevant. It's just the gender on the cards. It's not a big deal. But the Queen of Swords here is like a thinker. And I'm getting that energy from the Three of Pentacles too, where on the card, he's really just like in contemplation around whatever this kind of project is that he's working on. But it's really striking to me that this is like a solo endeavor, whereas in the traditional tarot, it's about like a partnership. He's all alone doing this work. It feels like someone going within and really doing some deep thinking and some deep inner work. The way that I'm feeling this energy is that this King of Cups is one person and this Queen of Swords line is the other person. So this may resonate for you if you are either in a relationship, or yeah, it feels like an energy of somebody who's already in a relationship. But this could be the energy of the relationship partner who's kind of coming your way. Maybe there's something that has to change or be like disrupted in his life in order to come to you. Like what's coming to me is maybe he's in a relationship, this King of Cups, and the relationship has to end, the tower, in order for him to be free to like come to you. So it could be an energy that's coming towards you, or it could be an energy that you're already in a relationship with. So again, I feel this as like your partner's energy and this row as your energy. The Three of Wands, Temperance, and the Two of Swords. It's like an interesting energy to end on. So the Three of Wands for me is, I love this card. It's a card of like your success is inevitable. Like the guy sent his ships out. They've made it all the way around the world. They're now back like in safe harbor, right? So all that he has to do is get his goods off of the ship and he's going to make like a ton of money. There's just a feeling of like safety and inevitability to me. And also like an expansiveness, like I'm really drawn to that the ships in this card have gone around the world. So this is interesting energy. It could be that this involves some travel for you, or maybe you and this person have some distance between you, even like across an ocean possibly. I'm not usually drawn to that aspect of this card, but it feels like really important to me right now that these ships have been around the world. So maybe some travel or distance involved here. The Temperance card is like a balancing and a reconciliation energy. She's an alchemist of the tarot, and she's kind of mixing like these 2 cups of water. I love how her feet, one foot is on the earth and one foot is in the water. So it's showing that she's kind of balancing, like grounding some of those emotions. I feel like that energy is necessary here because, pardon me, the King of Cups, sometimes when the energy gets a little too like cuppy, it's like a little bit too in the emotions, right? Which is not always a good thing. It's important to live in the emotions, but it's also important to balance that. And I feel like when there's an excess of emotions, it's that feeling where the ocean, right? The emotions are represented by water in the tarot. So that ocean, those emotions are eroding and eroding and eroding that cliff until this guy falls over and has this tower moment where all of a sudden he's just like drowning in the ocean, right? It feels like a need for balancing the emotions that this King of Cups row is feeling, and then the thinking that's happening with this Queen of Swords, kind of getting out of too much emotions and out of too much thinking and grounding. Like I'm really noticing that with the Temperance card is that she's balancing this water, but I feel like the most important thing that's happening is this one foot that's grounded on the earth here. It's like the reason why she's kind of balanced and standing up is because she's grounded. So making sure that you are balancing your head and your heart and like that physical feeling of groundedness, it feels really, really important. And kind of balancing these 2 energies too. This is really interesting. I'm feeling like this is really interesting. At first, I was feeling this as someone who you are partnered with, but now I'm feeling this as an energy that maybe you haven't even met yet, or like you guys have met, but you're not together, like in a union or a partnership yet, because of that feeling of like distance. So I think that this will resonate both of those ways depending on who's listening. This is really interesting. And the 2 of Swords here is that energy of like indecisiveness, right? Like she's refusing to look at what's going on. She's just blindfolded. There's like that stalemate energy, right? So this feels to me like it's relating to this Queen of Swords and the 3 of Pentacles, where it's almost like the danger of not grounding and balancing is that you get too much stuck in your head here. Yeah, like really getting stuck in those thoughts and then just being like trapped and immobilized by them. I'm almost channeling like an 8 of Swords energy, that feeling of kind of being in like a self-imposed prison, right? This is really interesting. I'm also really drawn to the moon phase here. I don't know if that's a waxing or a waning crescent. I never can remember which direction goes which way. But that might indicate some timing for you guys. I'll try and look it up and I'll put it in the comments. I'm feeling that as a timing element very strongly, and I don't usually notice or care about that. So I feel like that's got to be significant for somebody. Yeah, I feel like this is interesting. This is really interesting energy. I'm really feeling like whatever's going on with this King of Cups, this partner that you have, or this person, this energy that's like coming towards you for partnership, it feels like it's completely out of your control. Like the universe almost just wants to give you a heads up with this row. There's nothing for you to like do other than to know that your person is going through some massive changes, and I feel like that's kind of providing them the freedom or the movement to come towards you. And as always, like, take that with a grain of salt, right? It can't predict anybody's free will, but I feel like that's what the energy is setting this up for, right? Then that person has to actually make that choice to come towards you. So this is just like a heads up. The universe is like, hey, heads up, your person's going through some like huge, sudden, unexpected change right now, right? That's like a massive, life-changing event or transition or something like that, right? And it's kind of feels like it's just up to you not to get too stuck in your head about it. I'm feeling with the Two of Swords, like this is someone who's just so like this. I'm feeling like a personal shielding, even the way that her arms are like crossed across her heart, right? Just a completely shut down, like closed up energy. And I feel like the universe really inviting you to like put your defenses down, put your shields down, and open your heart. It could be the case that you're upset with this energy. I'm thinking, for example, of like a twin flame connection, right? Which for me is my highest level connection. And maybe this is a person who's like been with a third party or maybe was married, right? And I feel like there's maybe a defensiveness of like you not wanting to get hurt or maybe even holding some resentment against this person. And I feel like that's okay. You know, it's just feelings to work through. It's all right. But I feel like the universe is inviting you to work through them and really put those swords down. I'm feeling called to use this guy. What is this one called again? The Gilded Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I haven't used this for a few weeks. And on the bottom is the Page of Cups. I feel like that kind of goes along with this, that he's like a really sweet, benevolent messenger. He often brings like an apology or like a really sweet, heart-centered message. And I feel like that might be the energy that this King of Cups figure comes towards you with, right? Like if they're in a situation where maybe their life is kind of falling apart, their karmic relationship is falling apart and they want to come towards you, I feel like they might do that in that sort of Page of Cups energy. This one flew way out. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's really funny. This is like the energy that I was getting for this 3 of Pentacles here. That feeling of really working hard and honing your craft. I feel like that has to do with the groundedness that I was feeling that's necessary from this row with the Queen of Swords. And Temperance here. I feel like it's a feeling for me of like practicing that mental discipline. So I think the tendency here might be to get into a bunch of ego chatter, to really go within, but almost to do it in like a self-sabotaging way, if that makes sense. And I don't think it's probably something that you would be doing to yourself on purpose, but I think it might just be a pattern or a tendency. And that's okay. It's okay to just see that, right? And accept that and say, this is a pattern that I'm falling into, right? You don't have to judge yourself or attach to it or anything like that. But it feels like that would be the tendency, is to kind of get caught up in those thoughts. And I think having some practicing, this is that feeling of practicing, like it's going to be an effort. I'm really drawn to every single one of these pentacles is like an ego thought. And each time it comes up for you to say, you know, that feels like a toxic ego thought and I don't need to entertain that thought, right? Just kind of calling it out, recognizing it, and then sort of grounding yourself back into the truth. Yeah, I don't know that I have any specific examples. Like this may be, the example that's coming to me again is like a twin flame who's like in a karmic relationship, and maybe that relationship is coming to an end. And the ego thoughts around that would be like, just those like angry thoughts, kind of the story that you're going to be telling yourself about that person, right? I almost feel like for some of you, I keep seeing or channeling like Facebook. So this could be something that you're seeing playing out on social media. Like you might find out about this through friends, through social media, and not even because of this person necessarily telling you, but you might have like an awareness of what's going on. That's really interesting. Or it could be even like maybe your kids are on a sports team with like this person's kids or something, and you like find out through parents who like know both of you or something like that. But yeah, really getting grounded and being logical and having like practicing this discipline. It's okay if it's hard. Like I practice this and it's hard for me. But it's just choosing to show up for yourself in that way, choosing to recognize and kind of like unplug. I'm seeing unplugging something, like taking its power away, right? Like unplugging that toxic story, unplugging those toxic thoughts rather than feeding them and kind of letting like this toxic story grow. I do feel like your thoughts and keeping an eye on your thoughts is going to be really important. Wow, those are two big cards to get. Justice and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, that to me feels like the universe sweeping in and just completely doing like a 180 on this situation because it's not right. And by this situation, I'm feeling that as like the King of Cups in the Tower here. I really just keep feeling that energy of this huge castle built on sand next to the ocean, right? And all it takes is like one high surge of the ocean to just like kind of swoop the sand. I don't know how to describe what I'm seeing, like the cliff, right? And it's going to swoop the sand out from under the cliff, and then the cliff's just going to crumble and the castle just like is broken and falls apart into the ocean, right? I'm really drawn to the sunshine here and these beams of just like the truth kind of beaming its power, shining its light. Like there's no hiding from this. And I'm really drawn to the fact that she's blindfolded, just like the Two of Swords. There aren't a ton of blindfolded cards in the tarot, so it's interesting that we got both of those. Yeah, and then the Wheel of Fortune, it has that sun again. I love that. I feel like it's just this energy of illumination here, like it's illuminating what's out of alignment with this King of Cups. And I feel like whatever this stirs up in you is going to also be illuminating things within you that you need to heal. So as this Queen of Swords figure, right? As you're learning about this situation, I feel like you're going to have some feelings coming up too, and they might even be toxic. It's funny. I just was drawn to like this green bubbling concoction on this Three of Pentacles. Like it looks kind of toxic. I wouldn't drink that. It looks like poisonous. I feel like your challenge here is basically not to let yourself get poisoned by whatever frustrated, angry thoughts are going on. Process those feelings, right? Feel them. It's okay if you feel angry, if you feel frustrated, if you feel hurt. Feel those feelings. Don't suppress them. But also know that there's something to work through, right? And that when you work through them, there's peace on the other side. Yeah, this Justice and Wheel of Fortune completely feels like the universe saying, this is out of alignment. It's time for this to be over, and just doing a complete 180. That's really powerful. Those two plus the Tower, like, come on, that's a lot. Somebody is living a life that is very out of alignment with their highest good, and the universe is just like, it's time for this nonsense to be over. You have any other advice? I feel like this goes back to what I was saying too about this King of Cups row, where it's almost like the universe is just giving you a heads up. There's literally nothing for you to do about this King of Cups and Tower situation. And in fact, I actually feel like it would be, if you tried to interfere or make this happen more, I feel like that would be really bad karma on you. It's like your job is really just to get out of the way and let the universe do what the universe is going to do. So again, just that feeling of like a heads up, like the universe is confirming for you here that this situation is out of alignment, and like, don't worry, the universe is taking care of it, right? I feel like there really is a strong feeling here of telling you to step back and just sort of observe this situation that's happening, and deal with your own feelings. That's your only job here, is to sort of discipline the ego story that's happening in your mind, to feel your own feelings, right? Process and heal, so that you're in a place of peace. I love that, the Chariot. What is it in this deck? Well, that's neat. It's driven by a woman. It's usually driven by the Emperor. I don't know what she's looking at. She's like looking off to the side. That's kind of funny. I wonder if this will blindside you a little bit. I'm just really drawn to the fact that she's sort of like looking over to the side, instead of watching where she's going. I feel like that's actually a really good thing. Yeah, I'm wondering if there's something kind of divinely distracting here to kind of get your mind off of this a little bit, so that you're not tempted to kind of jump in and assist the situation. Assist in quotes here, meaning make this tower fall bigger and harder and faster. Which again, like, I feel like that's not, like, you don't want to take on the karma for that. You need to step back and let the universe take care of it. I very much feel that. I feel like that's probably the most important message in this entire reading, is that whatever's happening to this King of Cups figure, your job is to step back, and you're not to interfere. Like, the universe has got this. And the 10 of Cups, that's really sweet. This is an energy. It's interesting. I haven't seen it on this card before. I love the bumblebees. That's so sweet. It's an energy of like family and peace and love, and harmony in that card. I'm really drawn to the rainbow here on the 10 of Cups, which also is here in the Temperance card. I feel like the 10 of Cups feels like a more balanced emotional energy. I'm drawn to the fact that this is pretty grounded. Like, they have their house, they're like kind of in the grass, right? They're seated. There's a more grounded feeling here. I feel like the Chariot is just feeling like she's so funny. It feels like it's moving fast, but also that you're really distracted while you're moving. So it's almost like the more you let the universe distract you a little bit, the faster you will move to this like 10 of Cups with this King of Cups figure. It's almost like a feeling of like, how do I describe this? I mean, what's coming up again is like the twin flame dynamic with the runner and the chaser. So she would be the chaser, right? And if she was dead focused on this King of Cups, he would respond to that energy by like running in the opposite direction as fast as possible, right? But it's almost like because she's distracted and she doesn't have her eyes on him, like he's like the target. I keep hearing like eyes on the target, right? But her eyes are away from the target. So it's like she's distracted and not even necessarily like focused with like a laser focus on him. And that's actually a really good thing. It also is a feeling of surrender that like, I don't usually get this with the Chariot, but it's sticking out to me that like the Sphinxes are reminding me of the Justice and the Wheel of Fortune, in a sense that the universe is kind of driving this chariot. It's not you. So you can kind of sit back and do your thing, right? And let the universe be the thing that like propels you forward. This is a really interesting reading. I like this. This is like a cool vibe. I feel like this King of Cups is going through a lot. This is a guy who needs a lot of compassion right now. Like, even if he's maybe made some choices that hurt your feelings, like being in a karmic relationship or something like that, I feel like it never was his intention to be hurtful, and that he is having like a rough time. So for what it's worth, that's the energy that I'm picking up from him. He kind of just needs some compassion and some space. Because the guy's life is being flipped upside down. I just can't believe this Tower, Justice, and Wheel of Fortune. It's literally a 180. Like there's nothing in his life that's going to stay stable. It's the universe taking his life and going flip, right? Completely flipped over. And it's going to be a lot for him. So it doesn't mean don't have your feelings, right? Feel all of your feelings, please. They're very important. And they're an invitation to heal. So I think basically it's an energy of like, don't stew in them, right? Don't let them become poisonous, like this little vial on the Three of Pentacles. I have the Lover's Oracle. What messages do you have for my viewers here? Woo! Oh my goodness. I have this one. It says, only time will tell. I have like a bunch of them that fell out. Goes along with the message that I was sharing. It says, forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Yeah. I feel like that totally goes back to that what I was channeling with that Eight of Pentacles card, and really just making sure that you are exercising some discipline over like your thoughts and kind of I keep getting this message about stories, like the story that you're telling yourself about this. So maybe the story is that this guy screwed you over and like chose the karmic who he married, right? And like you were abandoned and betrayed and he should have picked you and now you're like mad at him, right? That could be an example of like a story that you're telling yourself. Yeah, I really feel that forgiveness. Like this guy needs a lot of compassion and space right now. Says, these are sweet ones. We have a couple of them with angels here. So if that resonates for you at all, it may be helpful to call on your angels, and even the Temperance card. Call on your angels, call on your spirit guides for healing and to help you through this. It says, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. I love that. That speaks of the twin flame connection to me as well. That feeling of being always united spiritually, regardless of being in physical separation. And it's also reminding me of the vibe that I was getting here with this Three of Wands, and that feeling that there may be some physical space between you and this person, even to such a degree of like one of you being across the ocean from each other or something. Like I really feel that. And here is the last one. It says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Yeah, I totally feel that. I was just saying that again about this King of Cups, that I do feel like this person needs a lot of space right now, just to go through what they're going through. It's interesting because we had that Page of Cups on the bottom and that message didn't come up again. So I'm not even necessarily feeling that this person will like approach you anytime soon. I feel like this energy is being set up so that can happen at some point down the road. But it might not necessarily happen right away. So knowing that even if they don't, like to go along with the example that I keep using, right? If this is someone's marriage falling apart and they get divorced, I would say the cards are cautioning you, like, don't necessarily expect that, like, the day that this person gets divorced, he's, like, on the phone calling you, right? Like, I've been dreaming about you for the last 20 years or 10 years or whatever. Like, you're my person. Let's go on a date. To not necessarily expect that to happen so fast. Like, this person feels to me like he has some healing to do. I'm feeling his heart, like, battered. I'm feeling like a battered heart feeling. It feels very tender and raw. And I feel like this person will want to spend some time healing and like loving himself and having some space and peace before he would even be ready to approach you. Because I think he would want to approach you in like a right energy, right? Where he's coming as his full self and not in like a space of neediness, right? Or like needing you to like fill him up or fix him or something like that. I'm going to take a couple of twin flame cards because that came up, and then I think that will be complete. This is a really interesting energy. I almost feel like the universe is mostly just giving you a heads up. And again, that kind of warning of like, let the universe take care of this. Like, this is a big deal. And your job is really just to step back and chill and deal with like your own thoughts and feelings that this is bringing up for you. We have 1-1, acknowledge, take responsibility. Yeah, I feel like that's exactly what I was talking about with that 8 of Pentacles. And like I was just saying, that really, yeah, taking responsibility for yourself, your thoughts, your kind of story that you're telling yourself about this person, really focusing on you, right? And not focusing on interfering at all with like what's happening or what's falling apart in this person's life. We have 1-1, karmic relationship, releasing the past. Yeah, I feel like that's what's going on with him, right? It's that lightning bolt. Look, the lightning bolt right here is totally this lightning bolt from the tower, kind of splitting this karmic relationship apart. That's really interesting. I love when I channel random stuff and then it comes up in the cards again. That's like so fun. It feels like a confirmation for me. And I feel like this take responsibility has this sun figure in the middle that's really resonating with the sun here, the sun here, the sun here on the chariot. Like, I love that. It feels really powerful. I just felt called to say this too. Like, bees are a sign for me. I have a bee tattoo. It's like, it says joy actually. Its wings are a J, and then the flower is an O, and the twig is a Y. Joy is one of the words of 10 of Cups. That's like one of the vibes of the card. And I'm super drawn to the bees on here. There are 4 of them, which is a number of earth and grounding. So I don't know if bees are a symbol for any of you, but that might be significant. They're very connected to like sunshine energy. And I just felt called to say that. So I don't know if that will mean anything to anyone, but I feel like if you're in this collective, bees could either be a powerful symbol for you, or maybe they will become a powerful symbol for you, as like these events are unfolding, right? That's really interesting. Almost as like a sign of reassurance from the universe that that the good things are coming, right? This is the sweetness. The 10 of Cups is all the sweetness. I'm thinking of like honey, like the sweetness of honey, right? And even like in the olden days where they didn't have candy, you couldn't just like go to the store and get a candy bar. Like honey would have been such a decadent, sweet treat. And how special that is. Like, kind of really feeling that sweetness and that sunny vibe of kind of the sun pouring in, illuminating light on everything that's out of alignment. The universe just coming in like with I'm picturing like Wreck-It Ralph with his fist, like with this fist of destruction and like destroying everything that's out of alignment in order to rebuild, right? So sometimes this process can be really painful. This is someone whose life is falling apart. It's someone whose relationship is falling apart, right? Like that's horrible to go through, even if the relationship is toxic or a struggle. Like there's still a lot to work through there. It's not easy. But it's worth it, right? Because it's taking that thing that's out of alignment and kind of leveling it so that there's a place to build a solid foundation on what is like actually aligned and meant for this person. That feels like really complete. This is a really powerful reading for somebody. Yeah, I really feel like saying again, like the most important thing here is you step back. This has nothing to do with you. Like this is the universe's job to sort of tumble that castle that's built on the sand cliff, right? And your job is to deal with what comes up for you. Your job is not to interfere with this. And there's some awesome stuff coming to you. And again, with this Chariot, like almost like the less energy that you focus on this person, the less that you like obsess on them, the more that you let the universe distract you with awesome stuff, right? Like be involved in your life and your friendships and the things that are your hobbies, your passions, the things that bring you joy. The more that you are aligned with those things that bring you joy and happiness and comfort and safety and fun and all those wonderful things, the more that you're aligned with that in your life, I feel the more that this energy will eventually be attracted to you. It's really cool. But when they're ready, right? When they've come to their place of peace and healing, you're just going to be magnetic AF and they're going to go zoink and like magnet right to you. It's really beautiful. So if this reading resonated for you and you enjoyed it or found anything helpful, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, as all of those things help as I'm growing my channel. Like I said, I'll put the timing in here with this crescent moon. I'll figure that out, and that'll be in the comments. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.